Hello, and welcome back to Trying to Figure It Out. Today, I want to talk about social media. It truly consumes our lives, and it definitely consumes mine, especially in this current phase of life where I'm making content, being on social media all the time. I have felt like I've consumed more than ever in the last few months, and it just really started to get the best of me, and I think I really needed to take a step back. So this past month, I decided to take a break. I don't think I've ever actually taken a break since I first got on all the apps when I was 14 years old. I feel like for the last few months while being on social media, I've been consuming either really scary information, scary news headlines, a lot of doom and gloom. I'm opening social media and I'm seeing articles and breaking news that someone died on a roller coaster, or someone was murdered, or people are stranded on Mount Everest. Or on the contrary, I've been seeing a lot of content that makes me compare myself to others, makes me feel like I'm not somewhere in life that I should be. And I feel like there's just been so much that I've been consuming that just only contributes to pretty negative thoughts in my head. And then when I try to escape all of that, what I end up consuming is just a lot of brain rot. I'm seeing AI slop that's literally, I wanted to make cinnamon rolls, and next thing you know, I get this stupid video of some weird AI cinnamon roll creep. I just have to show you because it's so sick. Like, the sounds make me sick. The way it looks makes me sick. All I wanted was to make cinnamon rolls. Okay? I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this. And then what's even crazier is I clicked not interested, and then I scrolled down and the next video was the same thing but a different food. Social media is praised for being this place where people learn and consume information that actually is beneficial for them to grow and learn new information. And I feel like I'm not learning. I feel like I'm actually losing brain cells daily. And I think it's just like an honest, natural instinct to wake up in the morning and while I'm snoozing to get ready for work or go for a walk or go get my coffee, I lay in bed for an extra 15 minutes just scrolling. What would I do in the morning if I didn't spend 15 extra minutes in bed scrolling? What would I do at night if I don't fall asleep scrolling? What would I do during the day when I have a 5-minute moment to check my phone? What am I going to do? All of these are things that I've been feeling and experiencing and witnessing in this point in my life of being on social media. Things were kind of brewing inside of me. And then I got lunch with my podcast producer, and we coincidentally also talked about it. She brought up an idea for a solo episode of maybe I take a break from social media and then report back on it. And I was like, I don't know about that. Like, I'd be lying if I said I was ready to fully step away from my daily doom scroll. So I was just like, we'll see. Like, maybe we can just keep it in the pipeline and see if it feels right in the future. And then coincidentally, the next day, I was having similar conversations with some of my close friends who were feeling the same way, and for their own reasons. Like, everyone has their own slop that they're consuming and their own triggers that they're seeing on social media. And ultimately, we all were kind of on the same page. And my friends were like, you know what? I'm just going to not open it today. Like, we're just going to take a break. We're going to step away from social media and see what happens. And next thing you know, I was like, you know what? If you guys are doing it, and I have someone to do it with, that seems like the best time to try. And we didn't really talk about when we were going to stop. We kind of just all started and we agreed we were going to keep each other posted on how we were feeling and what we were feeling, but we didn't set a date. And so that Monday, I closed out of all my apps, and there was 4 of us doing it together, and we had a group chat, and we all agreed if we ever feel the urge to open the app, first thing we're going to do is drink water instead. So like, let's fill the void with something positive and good for our bodies and good for our health, which is like, I actually drank more water that week than I think I've drank in the last 10 years. We all had moments where we accidentally opened the app and then really quickly scrolled out of it. And we all felt morally obligated to report back to each other in the group chat that we did it. So there was one time where I opened Instagram and quickly was like, oh shit, and then closed out of it. And then I texted them being like, you guys, I accidentally opened it, but I closed it. I just wanted to tell you guys. And everyone was just like, not the confessions. Like, we all felt so guilty if like any of us accidentally made a mistake. It was hard. It was a challenge. Like, our natural reflexes, like sometimes I would mentally know I'm not opening social media, but I would just open my phone and click the button and be like, oops, I don't even like, and I didn't even want to watch it. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm dying to check Instagram, let me open it. It was genuinely like a knee-jerk reaction. So day one was rough. That was probably the hardest day, just like mentally getting my body to not open the apps. I really utilized my Switch, my Nintendo Switch this week. I played a ton of Animal Crossing. On the first day, I was like, is this even allowed? Like, does this count in our social media break if I play on my Nintendo? And they were like, Nintendo is okay. Like, you're fine. And I was like, is ChatGPT okay? Because I'm having health anxiety. And they were like, ChatGPT is fine. So we had like an agreement of what was okay and what wasn't. I started out by whenever I wanted to scroll or had free time, downtime, whatever, I would go on my Switch and I would play Animal Crossing. And honestly, like, this is so silly, but that game is therapeutic. Like, you're basically just doing chores on your Nintendo Switch, which is like, maybe I should just be doing those chores in real life. But I wasn't. And I was dissociating by playing Animal Crossing. And honestly, it was really nice. I didn't feel as mentally sludgy as I do when I'm scrolling, even though I was still on a device and still playing a game. I felt like I was in my own little universe, and it felt safe, and it felt like I could still think about other things. I felt so much more calm mentally. And I would be with my boyfriend who wasn't taking a social media break, and he would be scrolling and I would be sitting next to him, and no part of me was like, oh, I wish I could scroll. Like, I wasn't fiending to scroll. I wasn't jealous that he was. I wasn't like peeking over my shoulder to see what he was consuming. I really didn't care. And so I think what was cool was, honestly, from day one, I was like, this isn't so bad. I don't miss the content. Maybe I'm naturally used to opening the apps, but I don't miss the content. What was hard was like, as the week went on, not knowing what was happening and trying to keep up with the world and trying to know what was happening in the news. But I feel like I took to actual news outlets instead of TikTok news, which is a whole dark place in itself. And I also just took the week to like genuinely reflect. I felt more rested that week than I have in a long time. I have this thing that I've been experiencing over the last few months where when I wake up in the mornings, for some reason, I wake up really confused as to what day it is and what I have to do that day. It's not a fun way to wake up, for sure. And the whole week that I cut out social media, every morning when I woke up, I had no confusion. I had no question of what I had to do that day, where I had to be. When I woke up in the mornings, it was so refreshing to, even if I snoozed for like 15 more minutes in my bed, I wasn't opening my phone to check TikTok or see if anyone commented or if any of my videos went viral. Like, I literally just woke up, maybe would hit snooze, and I would just like lay in my bed and think before getting up and starting my day. And so each day that I woke up, I felt so much more rested. I did not wake up feeling groggy. I did not wake up feeling sludgy. Like, I genuinely felt clear-minded, clear-headed, and more inspired to get my day started. Another thing I experienced is I feel like on social media right now, we're consuming so much of what other people think, what they believe in, what they think is right, what they're learning, them sharing with us what they're doing in a day and where they're shopping and where they're buying things and what they're getting on their nails. I had a nail appointment that week and I was like, I can't show you my references because they're on Instagram. And so I literally was like, let's figure out what we're going to do. And I like came up with a nail idea without scrolling on Instagram for a reference. Like, when's the last time I came up with my own nail idea? Last week. But yeah, it's so much consuming what other people think, what other people are doing. And then we all are living such similar lives now because we can share our experiences and share what we're doing. And then we want to do what someone else did. And I think this week I felt so much more secure in my own thoughts of what do I want to do today? Where do I want to eat today? What does my body want to consume? I'll be scrolling sometimes and I'm not even hungry because I just ate lunch, but because I see someone cooking steak frites, I'm like, oh, well, I have to cook steak frites tonight and I'm not even hungry. But like, then next thing you know, I'm Instacarting from the grocery store and buying steak and buying frozen French fries so I can make my whole dinner. And it's like, yes, it's cool to draw inspiration from social media and it's cool to learn. But that being said, like, why can't I form my own ideas of what I'm craving? What do I want? What do I feel today? What does Allie need? when you remove all this input from social media, you actually have the space to be introspective and to have your own thoughts and do things solely because you want to and because your brain is telling you that that's what you want or what you need. And I don't think I knew that social media was doing that to me. I don't think I realized actively that social media was stopping me from even thinking of what I want to eat for dinner. I don't think I was thinking of it that way. I don't think I realized it was that deep or that severe of a addiction to social media, that it was fully inspiring every single aspect of how I carve my days. And I think that's another thing that I really experienced. I was so much more present the whole week in every single thing that I did. My friend Benny always comes over, and his go-to thing is to take a picture of me and my boyfriend both on our phones, and he puts it on his story, and he's like just hanging out with some friends, and it's me and Miles on our phones, and Benny's on his phone just as much, but we'll all be hanging out, and there'll be moments of 10, 15 minutes of silence, and it's because we're all scrolling on our phones while sitting next to each other, and we're hanging out, but like we're not speaking, we're not making conversation. Whereas I really noticed how much more present I was in our hangouts that week, sitting at the dinner table when we're all sitting there, they're opening their phones and showing each other videos, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not going to look, I'm going to sit here and enjoy my steak. I'm going to wait till you guys are ready to talk, but at least I felt present, and being present was such a nice and refreshing feeling. So those were really the main things that I feel like I experienced and physically felt in my own journey of doing this social media break. And I feel like my friends, we all had different takeaways. Everyone felt different things. Everyone experienced different things. But I think all of us felt overall better. I went for such a lovely walk with one of my friends who was doing it while we were doing the social media break. We went for like an evening stroll. And it was just like something about that walk, like the world felt brighter that day. Like we go for walks all the time, but like this walk was refreshing. Everything felt more clear. I felt like internally I felt more rested and more self-aware and more in tune with my body and my needs and how I'm feeling. And it was just, all in all, it was a really good experience. We ended up doing Monday to Thursday, and on Thursday was the day that we went back on social media. I feel like when I got back on, I like didn't know what to consume. I didn't know where to catch up. I didn't really know where to start. Like, what do I want to see? Who do I want to check on? Do I want to check on the Dancing with the Stars dances and who's winning and who's getting eliminated? And all these different things were like, I wanted to be mindful about not going right back to all the things that I had originally consumed, so that maybe I could curate myself a better For You page. Maybe I can curate something that's less sludgy and less terrifying and less weird and less bizarre. Maybe I can rewrite my For You page to a place that, is less overwhelming. Now that I've had this time and took this step away from social media, maybe I can come back to it with a different outlook. And so getting back on, I feel like I created a list of things that I learned in that week that I really wanted to abide by and stick to when going back on social media. I really wanted to avoid the morning doom scroll. That was like one thing that I was very adamant about, that I was like, this is part of my day that I'm really liking about not being on social media. So when I get back on social media, I don't want to wake up and scroll. Like that is a new rule for me. I do not wake up and instantly open TikTok or Instagram. Instead, it's like wake up and stare at the ceiling, wake up and say some daily affirmations, wake up and snooze for 15 minutes if you need to. Like, what can I do instead of opening the apps? And that was something that when I wasn't on social media, I really enjoyed, and something that when I got back on, I wanted to keep consistent. Another thing is also not doom scrolling myself to sleep, not scrolling until I'm so tired that I just can't keep my phone on anymore. That was another big thing that I wanted to be mindful of. Another thing I really wanted to be mindful of is just the random daily scrolling. Like, just because I have 5-10 minutes to do nothing, it doesn't mean I have to scroll. Like, it doesn't mean I have to remove myself from whatever setting or place that I'm in to do a deep dive on nothing or just watch 5 videos and see what's happening. Throughout my days, I've been trying to fill my free time with other more meaningful activities. Some things that you can do if you're feeling the itch to check social media. 1, play Animal Crossing, read a book. I'm currently still reading Letting Go. It's amazing, and it has been helping me so much mentally. Go outside, throw the ball with your dog. Don't be scrolling while you do it. book a therapy session, call your family members who you haven't caught up with in a long time, have a conversation with the person around you, whether it's a barista at Starbucks or the person doing your nails, go for a walk, do a meditation, watch a TV show, read the newspaper, go on CNN instead of scrolling on TikTok for scary headlines. Like, open a real news app or a real news source and read real news. Don't look for somebody's personal take on the news. Think of something to do that doesn't require scrolling. Just because you have 5 minutes to check in on the internet, you don't have to use those 5 minutes to do so. During the nail appointment that I was talking about, where I came up with my own nail idea, I sat at the whole nail appointment and I didn't go on my phone. I didn't scroll. I didn't watch stories. I just sat and got my nails done. And I can't remember the last time that I just sat and got my nails done. And first off, getting your nails done is so boring. It's like actually so time consuming. You sit there for so long and it's not an enjoyable experience all the time. But I sat at the nail salon and I just was there. I didn't scroll. I didn't check my phone. I just sat there and I was present in the experience. And I think that was another lesson of something that I wanted to make sure I continue to incorporate into my life. If I'm getting my hair done, make conversation with my hairstylist. I don't need to go on Instagram. I don't need to scroll on TikTok. If I'm going to do a certain activity, I don't need to pair it with social media. And I think that the nail experience was a perfect realization of that. At first, I felt bored. I will admit I was pretty bored at my nail appointment, but I feel like towards the end, I was just like, I don't have to be on Instagram right now. I'm getting my nails done. I can't even use my hands to scroll, and I'm finding a way to open the app and still consume while getting my nails done. I'm like in such an uncomfortable position, and I'm still going so far out of my way to remove myself from the present moment just to be somewhere else. And I think that was a big realization, and something that I've actively been trying to put back in to my life is when I'm experiencing things, when I'm doing things, I don't want to remove myself from where I am. I see videos on social media all the time that are like pictures of an early 2000s Christmas and people saying that Christmas doesn't feel the way it used to. And that was a time where we did not have social media. It's all still the same. Life is still the same as it was then, obviously with newer technology and newer things, but social media has removed us from being present in those moments. When it was a snow day in the middle of winter in New York, I wasn't on TikTok all day. I was going outside and building a snowman with my friends, and we were going sledding, and we were pouring Fun Dip powder into the snow to make a snow cone and eating it and avoiding yellow snow at all costs. There was just so many memories that we experienced, and I think the reason we long for them and the reason that they feel so far and few from what they used to feel like is because we're not as present as we used to be. It's so hard to be present in 2025. And we're just isolating more and becoming more and more alone as people. Because we're all on social media, we don't all text as much and have, daily banter of like back and forth. I think a lot of us are just scrolling or on Instagram and we're sending each other reels and we're communicating in other measures. But being in this group chat alone was a really fun part of the experience, to the point where when we stopped, I actually texted and I was like, I kind of miss not being on social media because I miss how active this group chat was, and now it's not active at all. Like every single experience I had that week while not being on social media was more heightened because all I was doing was being present in that moment. If I FaceTimed a friend, I wasn't FaceTiming them and also opening an app while talking to them and then getting distracted and then having awkward pauses in conversations. Every single experience I felt was more fulfilling. I want to continue living that way. That's how I want to feel when I do everything in life. So even if you're not taking a full hard stop on social media, be mindful of how you use it. When you're watching a movie, just watch a movie. You don't have to do multiple things at once. If you're going to get a smoothie with a friend, don't post that you got the smoothie with the friend. If you want to take a picture of the smoothie and then post it later, but be present in the moment. Don't bring social media into every single activity that you do. And sometimes being present sucks, especially when you're going through something or you're having a hard time or you're overwhelmed or you're anxious or you're just having a bad day. It's so much easier to escape and go to the comfort of just dissociating and watching content that makes us feel good in the moment or distracts us from all the things going on in our brains. But I feel so much better, and I'm so much more self-aware of how I utilize social media and why, and what feelings drive me to then doom scroll. Like, I go on social media when I'm bored, when I don't want to be present in my own brain, when I don't want to think about things, when I want to avoid things. I learned that about myself while taking this break. And now I'm using social media in such a better way because I'm so much more self-aware of why I use it and the ways I use it. So if you're considering taking a social media break, I highly recommend it. I never thought I could take a full 4-day social media break where I didn't check anything at all. And I did it. It's so nice to remind yourself that you can do things on your own and you can live without the crutch that is social media. If you guys have anything that you've learned when taking social media breaks, I would love to know of any sort of recommendations that you guys might have of things that are fun to do to fill your time. If you are bored and want to scroll, what else do you do? Like, I would love to hear your guys' recommendations. So anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Trying to Figure It Out. We will be back next week with another exciting episode. And yeah, love you guys.